Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video, which is going to cover multiple pre-releases and release candidates for Minecraft 1.21.2. Now I haven't covered these pre-releases and release candidates because I've been away traveling, and since I've been back I wanted to come back with a video telling you the release date of this update. And technically speaking, I don't have an exact date. But at the very least, Mojang have stated this update, the Bundles of Bravery, will be released later this week. This might even be released today, the day that I'm releasing this video. That is October the 22nd, because the native PlayStation 5 version of the game is being released today. If it comes with Bundles of Bravery or not, we'll have to wait and see, but it would make a lot of sense to release all those things on the same day, right? Either way, you'll have Bundles of Bravery by the end of the week. So now let's go over the things that I've missed in the last couple of weeks of development. Starting with pre-release 2, which included some changes to the winter drop that I'll cover at the end of this video. Starting with a rather big change to slime blocks. Let's go ahead and hold down Shift as we land, which we do gracefully, but notice we didn't take any damage. Of course, you can normally fall down onto slime blocks holding down spacebar to bounce up and down without taking full damage. But now holding shift will prevent you from taking full damage too, where it once did damage to the player. This next change goes as far back as 1.14. Some items that are held in the offhand rotate in the other direction. Water buckets, for example, have always rendered like this, where they are mirrored to one another. But others like shears, the book, echo shard, name tag, and dried kelp, to name a few, would render incorrectly. But what I find really peculiar is that this has broken again in the latest release candidate, so those changes are actually undone from pre-release 2. I do not know how bugs like that just pop back into the game all of a sudden. That is very strange. There have also been a couple of bug fixes related to the breeze. They can of course jump when they are attacking the player, and honey blocks should staple all mobs down so they can't jump. That's been corrected. A breeze will not be able to jump off of honey blocks. Similar to this, giving the breeze the jump boost potion effect wouldn't actually cause it to jump any higher. We can definitely have a little bit of fun with this. All right, buddy, time to shine. Jump! Woo! Look at him go! Yeah, this one got stuck over here. The final thing related to the breeze is parity with Bedrock. This is its idle animation, and this is how the Java edition looked. And the change here doesn't actually look like either of those existing animations, so maybe they're now coordinated on both editions of the game. As for the rest of the bug fixes in pre-release 2, it's the usual thing of bugs that have just emerged from the previous few snapshots and pre-releases. Now we move on to pre-release 3, where it's been raining arrows, apparently. In this update, the high contrast resource pack received a couple of tweaks. Tooltips now have a black background and a very low amount of transparency to see what's behind it, and of course the high contrast border around the tooltip. This affects bundles too, which now have a high contrast element around the item inside of the bundle. That element can also now be manipulated by resource packs for further customization of the bundle interface. And when it comes to the bug fixes, we're going to have a familiar theme of things breaking in the last couple of pre-releases. I believe the arrows falling from the sky on the website was related to this bug fix. With pre-release 4, I have no idea what this image was referring to. I think it was just a nice and pretty screenshot. Again, the bug fixes were related to the last couple of pre-releases, with this one sounding rather amusing. For some unknown reason, the Wandering Trader had shrunk ever so slightly in the previous pre-release. And that brings us to pre-release 5 with this purdy picture of some kitties resting in one of the desert villages. In this one, there were only 2 bug fixes, very little to talk about. Pre-release 5 was followed by release candidate 1. This one actually has a bug that goes back to the release of 1.20.1, where intersection chests in trial chambers were not generating correctly. And finally, we have release candidate number 2 for this update. And this is the one they're hoping will be the last update before the full release of Bundles and Bravery, which we know is going to be sometime this week. This one just had 4 bug fixes of minor things that had broken in the previous pre-releases. It's not much to get excited about, but now we can talk about the next update of Minecraft, which is the winter drop. This update is coming out later this year, and currently you have to enable it behind the experiments tab. The changes are as following. To obtain this pale hanging moss, you'll now have to either use shears or any tool that has silk touch on it. Previously, you could just break this stuff with your fist and it would drop. So now it's shears or a tool with silk touch. The pale moss carpet can now be broken efficiently with a sword. This is the same mining speed as with a regular moss carpet. And last of all, it now has its own unique stepping sound for when you walk over the pale moss carpet. And with the team focusing on the release of the bundles of Bravery drop, those were actually the only changes made for now to the winter drop. But we can expect to see more in the future as they take on community feedback and work on this after 1.21.2 is released. You can expect to see those new snapshot videos from me, so make sure you're subscribed. And that's the end of this one. So leave a like to support the channel, and hopefully we'll be seeing you soon with one of those snapshots. Take care. Bye-bye.